Good morning, America. We're not only in America, right?
Oh, we're around the world. We're international.
Sorry. Good morning, world. It is 11 o'clock in Florida, USA, and we have people around the globe this every week in this beautiful success stories show where we, for several years, have been interviewing, showcasing,
Yes.
Promoting amazing individuals, and today is no exception. We have a very special lady. I'm going to make a couple of announcements. Please submit all your information for the London convention. We're running out of time and submissions. I think we have one speaker slot left.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
They were sold out, but somebody could not make it. So we now have one speaker slot left. So you better get in quickly because that's going to sell out quick. So a lot of exciting things. We have no other than the fabulous, that's her business card, fabulous,
Yes.
Angela Posilico, founder of the Miss Latin. But she's also our coordinator for all the fashion shows of the Global Trade Chamber and the 100 Successful Women Network around the U.S. and around the world. Welcome, Ms. Angela.
Well, thank you, Mr. Al. Welcome. Happy Friday.
It is happy and it is Friday. And is it happy hour yet? Or?
Oh, we're close. We're getting close to happy hour. It starts now.
Good. Very exciting. Tell us a little bit about the pageant, what's going on.
Well, the pageant's coming up again in October.
Wow.
And of course, 40 beautiful women, like you say, from around the world will be competing. And what's really exciting is I found out last night that one of my girls is going to be coming to London, England,
Oh,
this international world petite. She sees this as a global opportunity.
yes.
And she said, this is something I cannot miss. So that's going to be very exciting. And I want to thank you and Maria because being on the world stage builds my business. And I'm so excited to see all these women that are going to be honored at this event.
Fantastic.
It's amazing. They have amazing stories.
Okay, so we have a very, very special guest, Dr. Sherri Henderson. Welcome, Ms. Sherri. We want Sherri on stage. Introduce her.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Hi, Sherri. Welcome in the United States.
Today I am in Michigan.
Oh,
So I'm
beautiful
home
Michigan.
today.
That's beautiful.
So I'm
Motown.
coming to you live from my home office.
Fantastic. So yeah, which Michigan's one place we haven't been yet.
Yeah, no, that's one place I haven't been, but it is the home of Motown.
Yeah, Motown and the
Home of Motown, the Motor City, and
Yes,
of course,
those-
home of the Great Lakes. Yes, the Great Lakes for
That's
sure.
right.
That's right. So it's a wonderful day. The weather there.
It's the weather has actually been great this summer. So it's
Okay.
probably about 70, 80. It's 77 degrees and sunny today.
Now, from what I understand, you are an international entrepreneur. Can you explain a little more what that means?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much again for having me on the show today. I'm really excited to have a chance to actually see you guys and meet you in person. And it's just such a great opportunity to be here to talk with you today. But for the past 25 years, I've been working in international business development, whether it was through business, education, or ministry. And it's just been a commitment that I've had, for my life over the years.
And you work with Miss Tanya, right?
Yes. So Tanya McNeil-Reary, she has been, just extraordinary when it comes to international business development. We call each other our global business partners.
I love it.
We both came from, other careers. I believe she was in insurance, and I was in education. And I started like back in, I think it was like 1994 or so, where I really started pursuing missions and ministry. And so that was my introduction to the global business market. And then from there, sort of grew my consulting business over the years. And I tell you, it was one of the best decisions I made. I felt from the very beginning, it was answering a call that I felt like, my life was more purpose driven versus just choosing a career or even following my my mom. I don't know if she's going to be watching today, but even choosing a major outside of the one that she paid for at Michigan State
Wow.
University.
Wow.
But yeah, my major was in education, and so that's what my initial degrees are in, education.
Okay.
And I was a classroom teacher for several years, but I love what I do now. And I'm still very much involved in education as well, but my heart is really the global business development firm.
And what do you mean by global business development? What does that do? If I wanted to open a business in Peru, you would be the person to help me explore that?
Absolutely. I love Peru. It's one of my favorite places. I spent quite a bit, not a lot of time in Lima, but it has been one of my favorite all-time locations to travel to. And so in our global business development firm, we have what I call our core values, and it's people, purpose, planet, profit. And those are the core values that we operate under. And then we also encourage our clients as well to adopt these core values to ensure their success in global markets. And just to explain that a little bit further, when you talk about, you want to go global or you want to sell products or services in international markets, one of the first things you have to do, of course, is identify who you're selling to, who are the people, and it's just beyond, target market, an age group, or just something very specific that we oftentimes will do here in the US. But it needs to go a little bit deeper when you talk about international business development, and it needs to include how they do business. It needs to include any religious beliefs that they may have. Some of the places we've traveled to has been predominantly Catholic, right? Some of the other places have been predominantly Muslim. You need to know that. So you need to have a clear understanding of the people. Right, of the people, the music, the culture, the food, right? Just how they move about in their respective countries before you talk about doing business. And so that sort of falls under the people title, if you will, on how we interact and incorporate, working with people in general. And then the second one, of course, is purpose. We believe that you should do everything in purpose, on purpose, for a purpose, and that we have more purpose-driven goals where we're not just going to go to make a dollar, but we're going to go to make a change. Because oftentimes when we travel, even from America, we feel like we have the answer and we are it. And in some cases we are, but in some cases we're not. Right.
You just made a fabulous point. Yes.
Yes. And so there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn when it comes to, just, being more purpose driven and being able to be of greater assistance utilizing your business and the capital that you're going to make. For example, one of the clients we worked with before, it wasn't just going in, putting in new roads and new streets and sidewalks and fiber optics, but it was also making that collaboration with the local engineering school so that the information and resources that we brought can continue even after the project was over, where you're training the locals to be more independent and you're training them to be able to carry the ball from here so they're not always dependent upon someone coming in from the outside to be their savior, right? They're able to actually learn and grow from within. And then, of course, we talk about people, purpose, planet. We always, from the very beginning, have talked about sustainability and making sure that the projects and things that we work on are sustainable. And not only that the company itself established sustainability goals. And we have members on our team who have certifications in sustainability, and they're also able to consult with the client on what's the best way to incorporate sustainable goals. the UN, I don't know if you're familiar with the 2030 sustainable goals, but the UN has
Yes.
17 sustainable goals, and the just this year, we went to Dubai to the World Expo, and the UN was a great initiator in promoting those, those sustainable goals per country. And so as you're going into these countries, you know what those are, and you do what you can to help them achieve those goals. And then of course profits, right? Everyone's in business to make money. Yes.
Dr. Sherri, you brought something to light, and there is a question I'm going to ask you. When you talk about, you have to know the cultures of each country when you go into them. And I have to do that because with pageant women coming in from around the world, I have to know their cultures. In fact, this is the reason why in our swimwear competition, we have to do one piece. Because in India, if you put a girl in a bikini or a two-piece, religious culture comes in. That's right. The other night, I was watching that crazy movie that Bill Maher has out called Religulous. But I learned something from there, because when you go into certain countries, religion sometimes really plays into their culture.
It does. It does. And even when you're talking about menu selections. I think we lost them, but I'm sure they'll be back on in a minute. But culture does play a big part in all of the business decisions. As she was saying, even with, selecting swimwear and selecting, what type of attire the models will wear, even in a pageant, as she was saying, in some countries, they're not allowed to bear all, right? As we oftentimes will bear all in the US, even more so today. But oftentimes, that's a big issue, and you're not allowed to wear those type of swimsuits. And as I was making the comment a few minutes ago, it also has bearing, of course, on the menu selections that you select when you're talking about serving guests. Of course, as we know, here in the US, we oftentimes will have, we will decide, well, some people don't eat beef, some people don't eat pork, and it's by choice. Whereas in other countries, based on their religion, it could be a religious reason on why they don't eat beef or why they don't eat pork. And so when you talk about going global, you definitely want to make sure that you have a clear understanding of what that culture is like, because you could come off offensive to, of course, a potential client. And so all of those things you have to include when you're talking about going global.
Very nice. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, we had some technical difficulty there. So,
that's okay. We were talking about the swimsuits, and then I just shared on how the menu selections and food also has a lot to do with it. Yes.
Yeah, I had a story from Bolivia. They had a few years ago, or some years ago, they had McDonald's,
right,
and Burger King trying to trade Bolivia.
Yes.
And one, I don't remember which, was outsourcing locally. The other one was importing everything between McDonald's and Burger King.
And Burger King, correct.
So the ones that were importing could not compete with the one that was outsourcing locally, and they left. They spent $1 million, I think, and they left because there was.
Yeah.
I don't know how they.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, one of the things I was talking to you about, Dr. Sherri, and as Maria says, her and I got to become doctors. Everybody's got that doctor in front of them. I love it. It's great. But you were an ambassador at large in 2012 to the United Nations. And believe it or not, something I always wanted to do, because with women. So what was that like, being an ambassador with the United Nations? That's a great title.
So by the age of 40, which at that time I was 40 in 2012, I had worked at multiple levels of education, everything from elementary school all the way up to the collegiate level. And I had completed several mission trips around the globe. By
Wow.
that time, I had gone to Lima, Peru, and I had gone to Moscow and Belarus and Tanzania and Maputo, Mozambique, and South Africa, and Santiago, right? And
All
so I
right.
had done an extensive amount of educational work as well as international ministry. And so it came with an international chaplaincy certification as well, where we're able to assist people at large around the world in any area of education, ministry, and business. And so
Wow.
since then, I've had an opportunity to work on a few different projects. One of the projects in particular was with the refugees. And then we've done some things with WHO through the World Health Organization,
Yeah.
assisting with the Ebola breakout, making sure that they had supplies and equipment. And so
Right.
I'm able to select the different projects that I want to work on. My interest now has been more recently centered around the World Bank, which is also an organ within the United Nations. And so one of the reasons why I've decided to do more in that space is because it's business centered, and we know that it is the businesses that drives these countries. It's the businesses that make
Yeah.
sure that these entities have the resources that they need for infrastructure, for better roads, for better
Right.
schools, for better opportunities for the people there. And so, yes, so
Great. Are you
that's sort of the
joining us in
heartbeat.
London? Are you
Pardon me?
joining us in London? Are you
Yes, I
joining us in
will
London?
be in London,
Oh,
and
great.
I
So
kind of
Dr.
have a little
Sherri,
surprise. I kind of have some breaking news, and you know what? Maybe I'll just spend this time. I haven't announced it, but I think I'll announce it here on your show today. We will be opening a satellite
oh wow,
office for the Global Business Development Firm in London. I just confirmed the address
Oh,
yesterday.
great.
We have a regional director there, and we've had some business opportunities there. You mentioned franchising and working with franchisors earlier. That's a
Yes.
space that we specialize in when it comes to growing and expanding locations. And so
good for you.
I had the opportunity to expand with one of our regional directors before COVID happened. And just recently, we've been talking about launching our London office. And so this is breaking news because I have it
Congratulations.
only myself and our VP and our folks that we've been working with over in London is aware of this news. So we will have a GBD Firm London.
Good for you.
Yes,
Great.
Congratulations.
yes,
Great. Dr. Sherri,
yes.
you
She's
are
amazing.
amazing.
She is.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to meet you. It's definitely going to be an honor for me to meet you because you have, I think you and I, there's synergies there. But if you could tell us a little about your family, and of course, with everything we do in life, and I know I've had it too, what are some of the challenges that you've had to face?
Yes.
So when it comes to I'll talk about family, I'll talk about challenges. So when it comes to my family, I have an amazing family. So in our immediate family, I was the only daughter, only granddaughter on both sides of my family for a while, and the youngest. So I was a baby, right? So everyone says, "Oh, you're spoiled." Yes, I was. I'm really, really close to my big brother. We're 3 years apart, and my brother Eugene Hawkins I'm saying he's like the greatest person on the planet. He is absolutely phenomenal. My brother, I can't even begin to tell you how kind-hearted and loving he is, how he goes out of his way to help so many people. And my family in general, my mom, my dad, my stepdad, you know, we're a really close family. And so I've had an opportunity over the years to grow up with all these men, my male cousins and my brother. And then, of course, you know, get my way. Yes.
That's it. I love it. She got her way.
And challenges. We want to know
Yeah,
some
but
of
my
the things.
family has, my entire family has always participated in some humanitarian effort over the years.
Good.
And so that's kind of where I get that drive to want to assist and help others globally and always bring it back to business.
Beautiful.
And then as far
like
as
my
challenges,
Angela said,
you know,
yes.
as far as challenges, you know, when I first entered into this international business space, there were very few women and there were very few women of color. And so
Yes.
in the US, it was, you know, it was the good old boys club. And that's just how it
Oh, yeah.
was. And I remember attending meetings with US Commercial Service. And, you know, I attended one Discover Global Markets event, and they were talking about, you know, serialization and globalization. And I've always wondered on how the quote unquote majority of the US, and I say majority of the US because 2/3 of the world is of color. So the majority
Yes, that's
of the
very true.
US, the majority
Yes.
of the US oftentimes will not include other races or other organizations or cultures into the conversation, but oftentimes we'll have events like do business in Africa or do business in South America, and I'm like, they want to teach us how to do business with ourselves, you know. So you know, and so that's how I popped on the scene. So there was like, who is this girl,
Good for
you know? And I
it.
immediately found out, I immediately in this space had to be sure of my purpose and my calling. And because I had already started traveling as a missionary, I knew the landscape, I knew the language and the conversation. I could sit at the room, could sit at the table and have these conversations and ask questions like, why isn't CQ, cultural intelligence, a part of the conversation, right? And so I was
Exactly.
able to, and so when Tanya called me, she found me on LinkedIn and she said,
Oh
you
no,
don't know me.
that's wild.
Yeah, she said, she found me on LinkedIn, said, you don't know me, but I want to do what you're doing. And sight unseen, 3-hour conversation later, I specifically remember the
Wow.
day because I was in the W Hotel in Washington, D.C. I was invited to be a part of a women's roundtable that Obama was having. So as a member of the White House
Yes.
Business Council, I was invited to that event. And I get back to the room that night, and it's this girl on the phone saying, tell me what to
Tanya.
do. Who are you? And Tanya McNeil-Rury, and I'm telling you right now, she is to be, you know, she's a quiet storm. You know, I am so proud of what she's been able to do and able to accomplish. Clearly, that conversation was just, you know, it might have been, you know, this little snowball, but she has packed the snowball bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And you know, every time I think of Tanya, I think of the scripture that says, "And greater work shall you do." Like I see her doing, I see her doing even more and more and more. And then we're here, and Tanya and I will tell you, Tanya has a daughter and granddaughters and all of the other women that we pour into. We're here just to leave the seed for them to continue.
Oh yeah.
Like
That's
continue
the
walking
whole,
through those doors. Yeah, absolutely.
Our theme has been a legacy.
Yes.
Yes.
Legacy.
Yes.
That is the word, because that is what we don't even think about in many cases. Is what am I doing here on this earth?
Yeah. Yeah. What am I doing here on this earth?
And to leave a legacy.
That's right.
Right. I say that every day. What am I doing here?
Yep. So that's
And
that's the
it
type of
has,
people that are
and
going to impact the world.
yeah, and we go back to those 4 Ps. We don't make it hard. People, purpose, planet, profit. That's where we live, in that space. And not only that, again, when we're working with clients, if they don't know their purpose, if you don't know your purpose, you really can't even be my client because you're just wasting everybody's time. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
so it's important that you know who you are and really what goals you want to accomplish. And the goal can't be just money.
No, it is not.
No, it goes way
The
beyond
goal
that.
can't be just
Way
money.
beyond that.
You have to be willing to be a world
The
changer,
money
a game
is
changer.
a byproduct. Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
we
the money is a
and when we're doing
byproduct of doing a
franchising,
good job.
yeah, and when we're doing franchising, right now in the US, the majority, I'd say a good 99.5%, are all white owned franchises. So we
That's a fact.
want
Yep,
to,
that's
That
a
is a
fact.
fact.
yeah, we own, as the cultural based groups need to have more authentic food, more authentic, there's McDonald's, there's Wendy's, there's H&R Block, there's Jackson Hewlett, there's all of these national entities. And most of
International.
yes, and most of our shops and businesses, and I would say this non-majority, US majority, are, we call them mom and pop shops, one off. You'd be
Right.
hard pressed. You'd be hard pressed to find someone with 5 locations, 10 locations, 20 locations. So we help them, in my company, we help them build and develop so that they can grow a national footprint and an international footprint. Because many
Perfect.
of the companies that we help, that the minorities help build in the first place, right? Many of these companies have gone global.
Yes, they have.
Procter and Gamble, 3M, Kimberly and Clark, the Big Three, Pillsbury,
Yeah.
Nestle, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. I mean, you name it. They have a global and international footprint. It's the minorities who have assisted them with that process.
Oh yeah.
It is the minorities where they sort of take up shop. In every urban community, you'll find a McDonald's, a Burger King, a Kentucky Fried Chicken. They have used the minority communities, right, and the revenue to build their billion, I said billion, not million, sometimes $1 trillion entities.
Sure.
And so it's a collaboration. It's not us against them either. It's a collaboration of everyone coming together to build wealth throughout the world for the businesses. It's not,
Right.
power to the people. I am a power to the people person.
No.
We're running out of
It's
time.
for everyone.
Unfortunately, we're running out of time.
Yes.
We're running out of time. And we could talk to you for hours.
Yes,
I mean, it's just-
absolutely.
time flies. I
Great
can't believe it.
conversation.
You're amazing.
Yeah.
You're gonna meet somebody in London. That Mia owns, I think, 7 McDonald's franchises in Texas. She's a Black
Awesome.
American,
Yes.
and her father, I think, owns like 30 or 40. So they have
Oh, wow.
an empire as a minorities, and she has a foundation helping children in Texas. And you're gonna meet her. She's an incredible lady.
Incredible.
You two are gonna click right away. But she serves constantly. She serves, but she's blessed because of that.
Right.
So
And
she's-
the way she helps children
Oh,
with
yes.
scholarships, I mean, I've read her
Right.
bio, unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, for a young woman, she has done is
She's
just incredible.
It's amazing. So you're going to meet a lot of incredible people. Obviously, are a recipient of an award this year. So
All
congratulations.
right.
Oh,
Congratulations.
thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
100 successful
Thank you.
women. There's much we're going to do in the future because we are a global trade chamber. So a lot of the things that we do need to incorporate your services. And I think that would be a great synergy there for us to work together. Thank you for taking the time. You're amazing. And I can't wait to meet you. There's many more things we'll be doing, but I think we're organizing an event, our Global Business Expo, inviting companies in
Yes.
convention, and I think it's going to be in the Bahamas next year.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'm flying over the end of this month to see the Prime Minister of the Bahamas. I'm partnering with Miss Universe, so that's going to be a great opportunity.
So we have a lot coming that you're going to be a perfect fit. So thank you for your time. Thank you for all you do and all you're going to do. And thanks to Tanya, we met you, and it's going to be a fantastic relationship from here on. So we appreciate you.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Sherri,
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
It's been amazing.
Thank
We'll,
you. Thank
send you
you.
the
And
link.
congratulations.
And
Yes,
see you in
thank
London.
See you in
See you in
London.
London.
Okay, great. Can't wait.
Bye, Sherri. Dr. Sherri.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Wow, she's amazing.
Oh my God, she's amazing. I could have had that conversation all day long. She taught me things that I didn't even know.
No.
Right.
So we're so thrilled to have another beautiful show today.
Oh, yes.
We're going to be doing your show in a little while, so this is nonstop.
That's nonstop, and we're
So-
going global today. Ms. 𝐩𝐽𝐝
Yes,
is going to
it's
be
gonna
our
on
guest.
that
She's
show.
an ambassador for the 100 Successful Women in
Yes,
Business, who
yes.
also has an incredible
Story.
background. Oh my God.
Well,
Amazing.
thank you. We'll see you soon. And we're going to post this on our YouTube page and other places so people can see it for years to come. This
Yes.
amazing interview.
Exactly. And be sure to watch because you'd be surprised what you can learn.
Yes. Thank you, Ron. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.